A West Virginia couple discovers the solid history behind their 1904 stone house. The owner of an 1888 Connecticut home brings back the past by trading rooms with her neighbor. And exploration of a Vermont attic reveals its impressions of the town's first settlers. These stories and more, if walls could talk. I'm Grant Goodeve. Welcome to If Walls Could Talk. When Tom and Sheila Cardis moved from Connecticut to Lewisburg, West Virginia 18 years ago, they wanted a house that could comfortably fit their 4 growing boys. They found a perfect fit in a spacious 1904 stone mansion. But with every project the couple undertook inside, they were getting closer to a family outside, descendants of the original owners. Tom and Sheila set about contacting many family members who shared their stories of the home. And the Cardises soon realized that they were closer to the previous family than they suspected.
We were next door, and we were going to buy the house next door. And I looked over through their kitchen window, and I said, I want that house. So we came over here, and the furnace was off, but it was still warm inside.
In 1982, Sheila and Tom Cardis instantly warmed up to this stone-cold house in Lewisburg, West Virginia, about 2 hours east of Charleston.
What I like the best is just the contrast between the gray stone and the pointed mortar. Its burgundy mortar is really beautiful.
The Cardises believed many of their home's 1904 characteristics were beautiful, including the imported marble fireplaces and elegant woodwork. But one unattractive feature remains glued to the 3rd floor, a worn carpet that the couple is still struggling to scrape off.
It was the most atrocious looking indoor-outdoor carpet.
After 18 years, Tom and Sheila have finally reached the last level and layers of their home's restoration. And as they've exposed the top floor, they've uncovered a mysterious collection of 1917 artifacts and hidden sketches from underneath the floorboards.
We stuck our hand in and we found this tube. And we said, oh my gosh, what is this? And we pulled it out, and it was the original plan for the house.
We were amazed and surprised that the original blueprints were still around.
The couple was also surprised that a ground floor feature was always part of the 1904 plan.
It was very unusual to have a bedroom and a bath on the 1st floor.
The Cardises learned that the home was built for the aging and retiring owner, James Lang, and his wife, Suzanne. James made millions owning a coal company. Through historic records, Tom and Sheila concluded that when the house was done, so was Lang's career.
We found some certificates that in 1904, he divided his coal mine between his 4 sons.
What I think is really novel is that the stone for the house comes from the back of the property. There's a sinkhole where they dug out all the stone.
The stone mansion is believed to be inspired by James' Scottish roots. And Tom and Sheila were inspired themselves to trace this prominent family's history. One note about the Langs was carried through the attic. In a stashed suitcase, Sheila pulled out sheet music dating back to the early 20th century. When she asked one of the Lang daughters, Sheila tuned in to a musical past.
They had 8 children. They wanted the children to have the arts and the culture and the classical music training.
By talking to several of the grandchildren, Sheila soon became well-versed in the lore of Lang.
They said that I know more about their family than what they knew.
The couple learned that the Langs had the first electric lights in Lewisburg. They also learned about their large family dinners and the overstuffed food warmer that's still attached to the radiator. But when a grandson visited, a few serendipitous surprises were in store for Sheila.
Well, Jim Spees comes up the steps and said, "Where did you get those chairs? That's Grandma and Grandpa's chairs." And he shows me this picture. And this picture, see this S-shaped chair? She's sitting in it.
The grandson also recognized his grandfather's straight-back chair. He explained that when the house left the family's hands in 1963, the chairs, which had no bottoms at the time, were auctioned off. Sheila bought her 2 chairs at separate auctions after moving in, and they too had missing seats.
I almost knew they belonged here in the house, but it was really surprising that he confirmed it.
Another family snapshot developed into an almost double image.
And he said, "Here's a picture of Grandmother. She's reading the Bible." And I look at the wallpaper in the background. It has the same design as the wallpaper I put up in my living room.
Tom and Sheila were thrilled with all their unconscious patterns that led them to the Langs. And their bond to the family remains as solid as the stone structure itself.
I think it's nice to appreciate the character of the house and to maintain a relationship with the original family.
I think they enjoy us because we brought the Lang family back to life.
After Tom and Sheila studied the home's blueprints that they dug out of the attic, the plans were used for another educational project. The Cardis' son Thomas, who at the time was going to school for architectural design, created an exact model of the house from the blueprints. The Cardises believe that their son's high-quality model reflects a real love for their stately stone mansion. Coming up next, bringing back an 1888 Connecticut Victorian means trading rooms with the house next door. There's more to hear if walls could talk.
New design ideas every day. Top 10 favorites all the time. Plus custom calculators to make designing a breeze. Visit HGTV.com.
The Hoover Steam Vac Dual V outcleans all other leading brands to leave your carpet clean and help it dry fast. The exclusive Hoover Auto Rinse feature automatically rinses with clean water. Steam Vac Dual V, now with Auto Rinse.
Smart is having more ways to care for your new pet than any other specialty pet store. With new pet supplies and foods you won't find anywhere else. Puppy grooming and training to get them off to the right start. And people who can help every step of the way. At PetSmart, you'll find everything you need to make your new pet healthier and happier. Maybe that's why more new pet parents shop here than any other specialty pet store. PetSmart.
Did we make a beer with 1/3 less carbs than Coors Light taste good? No. We made it taste great. Miller Lite. Great taste. Less filling.
The Home Depot is more than a store. It's an offer that's too good to pass up. Right now, get no payments and no interest for 12 months on any purchase store-wide of $299 or more. Just use your Home Depot or Expo credit card. This extended credit offer is good on anything in the store. From carpet to lighting, power tools to lawnmowers, and everything in between. The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
He wants
More formal.
She says I'm a little more cheery. Better call Designing for the Sexes. We definitely need the help of Michael Payne.
Will he get his deep, rich, formal space, or will she get her bright, cheerful, open room? Find out on Designing for the Sexes. Saturday night at 9, only on HGTV. They were Hollywood's original A-list, and their homes define glamour and style.
Wait till you see his house.
HGTV takes you inside the homes that made Hollywood. From Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth to movie mogul Samuel Goldwyn. The homes that made Hollywood, the Image Makers. Sunday night at 9 on HGTV.
Welcome back to If Walls Could Talk. Mary Ann Vandenberg wanted nothing to do with her house before she bought it. She didn't even really like its Victorian style. But Mary Ann says there was just something special about this 1888 home in Waterbury, Connecticut. She bought it and grew to love it, especially after it slowly revealed its history to her with a little help from the house next door. Mary Mary Ann Vandenberg's house on the hill in Waterbury, Connecticut, has been called a Queen Anne extravaganza.
Of course, my daughter said, "Mama, did they mean you were the house?"
But the Victorian style of the 1888 house wasn't really what appealed to Mary Ann.
I was like, no, I'm moving to the country. I am not going to live in the city. I'm not living in that house. Well, but maybe I'll make a bid on it.
The attraction was the attention to detail, like the oak woodwork that wound around all 3 floors, and the fluted light fixtures she found throughout the house.
All of the fixtures are original, and they were all painted. They looked like black spiders.
Mary Ann had them replated with brass, a reminder of the time when Waterbury was the brass capital of the world.
Oh, I love them. I love them. For me, they look like jewelry on a dress. It's just another detail in the house that I love and love having peeled back the layers to find out what the original was.
The house was beginning to warm up to Mary Ann's touch, even helping her with some subtle suggestions.
I had fully intended to paint that library white. And I remember I was in the middle of the floor on my hands and knees rubbing the sanded floor with stain, and it just came to me. It was all really nearly like the room spoke to me and said it had to be cinnamon.
The library would hold many more surprises for Mary Ann. When she moved in, it was in bad shape. The library had been used as a playroom for the 9 children of the previous owner. Instead of bookcases, there were plywood shelves.
These are not the original library cases or the original fireplace surround. These belong to the house next door.
And the next door connection started with a knock on Mary Ann's door. A man named Orton Camp stopped by and told Mary Ann that his grandparents had built her house in 1888. Mary Ann realized that it must be members of the Camp family she had seen in the photographs she had developed from glass negatives she found in the house. Orton Camp had more family mementos to pass on to Mary Ann.
Well, these are some of the clothes that were worn by the builders of the house, actually. Look how beautiful this would have been on a small woman. It would just hug her. Of course, she didn't plan to do any work because you couldn't raise your arms. They're great to have in the house because they give me a clue about the people who lived here, and it's so different from the way I live.
Orton Camp shared more family stories with Mary Ann. He told her that the Camps handed Mary Ann's house down to their daughter Hilda. Hilda also inherited the house next door.
One of the first things that he gave me was a photo album of 8 by 10 photographs that he had taken in the 1940s when Hilda Camp was planning to tear this house down.
But Hilda decided not to demolish Mary Ann's house, and she lived next door until she passed away in 1981. That's why Orton had come by.
Well, the sofa was one of the pieces that I was able to acquire from Orton after his Aunt Hilda had passed away. I didn't realize it was the sofa in the photograph. So it is the same one. It's in the same spot as it was in the 1940s.
Mary Ann's next surprise was a big switch in the library. It was Orton who explained where the missing bookshelves were. He said when Hilda decided to move out, she wanted to take her father's library with her. Hilda had everything taken out and moved next door. Mary Ann was disappointed to learn that her home's original library was now at the next-door neighbor's until the story took another turn. Orton told her that Hilda stored her home's original library in the attic. Mary Ann was more than happy to move that library over to her house.
So I have their library installed here, and they have mine over there. The 2 houses have switched libraries.
Mary Ann's new library lent her a little something extra.
When I bought the fireplace surround and these more ornate library cases, I got those doors as well. I didn't even know that they were really the ones from this house. And I was amazed they fit. So I had them refinished and the glass replaced and put back into the room.
Mary Ann now feels she and her house are a perfect fit. She has grown to love her 1888 Victorian home and considers it her Queen Anne companion.
I mean, I always say it's worse than a man. It takes all my time, all my energy, all my money, and I still love it.
Marianne has another treasure given to her by the grandson of her home's original owners. Hilda Camp's last pair of riding boots now rests in a third-floor bedroom of Marianne's house. She says she's grateful that some of Hilda's belongings have come back to her childhood home. Marianne keeps the long leather boots facing Hilda's house next door as a tribute to a neighbor she never knew. Still to come, discoveries in an 1830s Vermont attic help the current owners form an impression of their house's early owners. Stay with us.
It's an explosion of savings at Ford Country. Truck Country USA. Get the truck of the year. Ford Country has the all-new 2004 F-Series truck built Ford Tough. Discounted $5,000. Yes, at Ford Country, take your choice of any 2004 F-150 in stock. $5,000 off. Regular cabs, super cabs, super Cruise, 4x2s and 4x4s. All in stock. $5,000 off. Plus, Ford Country will beat any deal. Everything we do is driven by you. Ford Country at the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson. Ford Country.
Experience the difference at Colleen's Classic Consignment. New and gently used furnishings. It's easy. We pick up your consignment items, sell them, and send you a check. We receive new stock every day from model homes, furniture shows, and high-end consignments. Colleen's has the perfect solution for all sizes and shaped spaces in your home. Our highly trained, friendly staff members look forward to assisting you. Just think CCC. Colleen's Classic Consignment. A fun new experience every time. Big.
Eliminate odors and leave your closet fresh air clean with Febreze every day. Eliminate odors and leave the whole house fresh air clean with Febreze every day.
With unlimited local and long-distance calling, you can show people how much you care all the time and never worry about the cost. The neighborhood, built by MCI. Stay close to the ones you love.
There comes a time when you must leave it all behind. A perfect shower is a necessity. Forget it all. Soothe. Integrate. Renew. Finally.
Growy. At the end of the day, there can be no reason for less.
Tonight, you should see what's on HGTV. At 8, can Debbie Travis's facelift transform a dull living room into a white fantasy? Then at 9, it's a full hour of divine design. First, time to reclaim the dining room from the kids. Then, will the family room ever actually get used? At 10, it's a full hour of home to go. First, bring charm to a plain kitchen. Then, create a vibrant multi-purpose room. Tonight on HGTV.
Welcome back. I'm Grant Goodeve. When Jim and Claire Hickey make a major decision about their 1830s house, it's a group decision. The couple owns the Barnard, Vermont home with Jim's 2 sisters and brother-in-law. The entire family has enjoyed their rural retreat, an easy drive south of the state capital, since they purchased the Greek Revival residence in 1981. Jim has been its resident historian ever since, and he's painted a portrait of the past with what he's discovered under the rafters. In Barnard, Vermont, late autumn brings a cold breeze over country roads and clear lakes. In all its seasons, Jim and Claire Hickey have escaped from Boston to this rural region. The couple first came for the skiing over 20 years ago. But as their 2 daughters and 2 nieces grew older, swimming became the favored sport. So when Jim spotted a Greek Revival house for sale near the lake, he eagerly shored up the details.
but this was perfect. We were always interested in a real old house that had character and one that could be a family house.
This family house was in fact an extended family decision. The Hickeys already owned a second home with Jim's 2 sisters and brother-in-law.
I wasn't too enthusiastic until I came to see it.
But Kathleen fell in love with the home's decorative possibilities, and the others were captured by something indescribable.
I just love it. I don't know if I can put it all into words. I really love the house.
I'm not sure whether part of it has to do with the Vermont mystique, and I think there is a mystique to Vermont that perhaps no other state has. And Barnard and this house add to that mystique.
As the group cosmetically updated the entire 1830s house, the mystique faded and their individual talents emerged.
I think we began to understand one another's abilities. We saw what we could do and couldn't do.
In addition to renovating, Jim was skilled at home investigating. He uncovered original pine flooring and old iron door locks. When Jim and Claire stopped at an estate auction of a previous owner, they were able to bid on more authentic history.
We saw this gentleman talking to the auctioneer several times. I went over and asked him if by any chance he was one of the Parkhursts.
The Hickeys met the son of Edwin and Elizabeth Parkhurst, who moved into the home in the late 1920s. The Parkhurst son pointed out some family heirlooms at the auction that were once in the house. He later opened 2 doors to a revolving mystery.
When Mr. Parkhurst visited here, one of the things he told us about was how one of the bedrooms had been converted into 2 bedrooms, one for him and one for his brother.
The Parkhursts also added the charming porch, a preferred spot even today.
Sometimes in the early summer mornings, it's a case of who gets up first to get what seat they want on that side porch.
Another owner held the county's seat. Judge William Danforth, whose ancestors were considered the royal family of Barnard, bought the house in the 1860s. Danforth's widow later turned the home into a popular establishment.
A friend came across a postcard and brought it into work and showed me. He said, "Isn't this your house?" And sure enough it was. And they had converted it to an inn.
Everyone was thrilled that their house with character was beginning to develop an historic personality.
Each piece that's uncovered I find fascinating because it's part of the story.
But the full story of this house wasn't revealed until a year ago. When the group replaced the roof over an attic crawl space, they discovered in the walls 2 early 19th century locks, an antique skin cream can, and 150-year-old leftovers from 150 miles away.
This one I thought is particularly interesting because we're Bostonians, and this is clams. It's not the kind of can that we have today.
Jim learned that the original builder, Lemuel Richmond, came from Massachusetts. He settled in Barnard and had 7 children. The eldest son, Rolland, later inherited the house. And after 2 decades of researching this family, Jim reached further in the walls and remarkably put a face with a very familiar name.
The real treasure was this. And this is a portrait of Rolland Richmond, and on the back is very interesting because it dates it. Painted in Barnard in February of 1831, and he was age 24. The moment I saw it, I knew him. I just said, I know him. He's clearly something of a gentleman that, in a country setting. And indeed he was. He was a successful merchant and a local politician at the time.
Illustrating this 19th century home's colorful past has been an honor for Jim. With his love for history, he enjoys sharing a house full of wonderful memories with his extended family. And the others have also painted a tender picture of their treasured property.
It's just a little bit of nostalgia that I really like about it.
I think the house exudes a peace and a joy. And I'm not sure all houses do. This one does.
Besides all the ancient artifacts that were pulled from the eaves, the Hickeys were also surprised by all the corn cobs that came from the holes. At first, the family believed that their attic was a makeshift pantry for country critters. They then learned that it was common to use corn cobs for insulation. At this point, they're not sure which is worse. When we come back, we'll revisit the 1904 West Virginia house we showed you earlier to discover how the current owners found old numbers that added to their home's history. Stay with us.
She renovates. She redecorates. She reinvents. Now the designing diva is on HGTV.
My name is Debbie Travis.
You're experimenting on my house.
Hidden cameras. I'm in shock. Emotions on edge.
Pure chaos. We're into the final hour.
And more fun than any design show you've ever seen. Debbie Travis's Facelift. Tonight at 8 on HGTV.
An old laundromat becomes a new house when clean lines take over a stained and soiled old building. It has its perks.
With all the old washers that used to be here, we have great water pressure.
Witness another incredible transformation on Building Character at 8:30, following Before and After at 8. Sunday night on HGTV.
It's showtime! Time to show off your body. Introducing the surest way to get in show-off shape fast, the incredible Zone Pilates system.
I've been a fitness instructor for 15 years, and this takes Pilates to the next level.
The secret is the Zone Pilates Sculptor that guides your body with perfect Pilates positioning and adds muscle toning resistance to accelerate your results.
You get the most fabulous results from this quickly. I've never used anything that I get such fast, great results from.
The Zone Pilates system divides your body into 3 target areas. If you want firm arms and shapely shoulders, concentrate on Zone 1. If you want flat abs, just focus on Zone 2. To lift and tighten your thighs and buns, do Zone 3. And best of all, it doesn't take hundreds of repetitions. Spend just 2 minutes a zone and turn flab to fab.
It's great because you can concentrate on one zone and work on those muscles and get the results that you're looking for. You're going to feel it right away, and you're going to know it's working.
Don't pay over $100 for another Pilates system when the Zone Pilates sculpting system is only 2 payments of $29.95. You'll receive the Zone Pilates sculptor and the Zone workout video. But if you call in the next few minutes, we'll make 1 payment for you. That's right, you can reshape your body and have sexy buns and a flat tummy for only 1 payment of $29.95. But wait, that's not all. If you call right now, we'll also include a bonus video, Zone 3, the sexy legs, buns, and thighs video. It's your free gift just for ordering the Zone Pilates sculpting system. Altogether, this is an $80 value, but yours right now for only $29.95. If you don't feel and see the results in 30 days, just send it back for a full refund.
You have to try this. It's great.
You've got to try it.
You will love it. It works. It does.
Call 1-800-622-8196. That's 1-800-622-8196.
Visit America's favorite home and garden website at hgtv.com.
Welcome back to If Walls Could Talk. Earlier in the program, we visited Lewisburg, West Virginia, where Tom and Sheila Curtis turned up their home's original blueprints in the attic floorboards. The plans were able to explain a few features of the 1904 home, including how the couple could precisely count the number of windows throughout their house.
Each one of the windows have numbers to match the floor plans of the house, and each door is dated 1903 with a gold on the gold brass, and the company that made the doors.
When the couple moved in, they stripped the windows and doors to reveal the tarnished digits. And after discovering the original blueprints, Tom and Sheila were glad to see that the sum of their total work equals one well-designed house. Thanks for watching. Remember, every house has a history, so keep looking for clues to the past in your home. I'm Grant Goody.
Among other things, they had pet lambs here, and they got the lambs so that they would keep the lawn short.
That's my chair that I sit on, and that's the guy's chair. And it just seems like the guys go to this chair, and that's mine, because it's a little smaller and a little lower.
We've had some great Thanksgiving holidays here. I mean, the best thing is sharing it, I guess. The house is never happier than when it's full of people.